am. Another iced coffee. I just wanted to see if possibly you might be interested in an update, a July update of my garden and how it's coming along. Since I've finished the deck, I've put up some lighting. Maybe at the end of this video, I will show you what it looks like at night. And if I remember, I'll put up here in the cards my deck before and after if you have an interest in that. So life has been crazy, 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 crazy. I'm hardly ever home. I'm either at my mom's, picking up things at the store for my mom, or if I get a break, I can go up to the boat and visit my honey. But anyway, my YouTube channel is kind of suffering for it because I haven't been able to watch much YouTube and I haven't been able to make too many videos because the time just isn't there. So I apologize to all my favorite channels if I haven't gotten to view your videos. Sometimes I just can't get to it. So anyway, that's what's going on with me. So let me take you around my July garden. I haven't done too much to it other than trying to water it and keep it watered, which is an everyday task. It's been getting really warm here. This week it's in the 90s. We're not having rain until Friday. So I try and water either the front or the back before I go take care of my mom. And then in the evening when I come back, I do whichever one I didn't water before. So let me take you around my garden. And how are your gardens coming along, to all my gardener friends? And leave me a comment below if you enjoy seeing my garden. It's kind of a stress reliever for me. I've always used gardening as a way to alleviate any stress that I have. I love communing with nature, whether that means going for a walk outside or sitting on my deck or just putzing around in my garden. So I wanted to do a little update too on growing out my gray. I don't know, I don't hate it. I mean, this is still all my old color. I really would like to figure out a way to just blend this in a little more so that I don't have so much of a demarcation line. This side is better than this side. But in the summer, I can't stand my hair down. It actually looks better when it's down. But it gets too hot on my neck. And I don't like my hair short. It looks great on a lot of people. I feel very uncomfortable with my hair short. I really prefer my hair longer. I've almost worn it longer all my life. And I see no reason why older ladies can't wear their hair long if they like it that way. There's no rule. You make your own rules. So what I'm hoping is happening here is that this part, maybe I'd like to get some nice gray streaks in it. So I don't know. Like I said, I don't hate it. So we'll see. I'm going to let it go a little while longer. And then if I do end up hating it, then I will color it again. I mean, there's no rules for that either. You know, I see a lot of older ladies, even younger ladies with gray hair that looks stunning. So why not? You do you. There are no rules. Whatever you feel comfortable in. Don't listen to other people. Oh, that looks terrible, and you don't look good in this color. You don't look good in that color. You do you. Whatever you feel comfortable in is how you should live your life, and especially as you get older. So, all right, I'll be back in a little while, but let me show you my July garden. Alrighty, here we are in my garden, and I still have some seedlings here. I've shown these before, but I'm getting little blossoms here on my cucumbers. I need to get these in the ground. And then my peppers back there, I just don't have the space. So I've got that going on, and I still have this succulent here. This one is doing really well. This one is blooming. And I got that at Lowe's for half price. It's really meant to hang, but I like it on this little stand. So I've got that. My lemon balm is really growing nicely, and it's actually planted itself all over the yard, which is fine, but I won't be using any of this because the dogs, you know, they're all over the yard. But I will be using the lemon balm in here to put in teas. My impatiens aren't doing real well. A couple of these are. The ones in here totally died out, so I probably won't put anything else in there, I'm not sure. But, so there's one of my little buddies, it's Lizzie. And not much has changed over here. Some of these are growing pretty well. I need to fertilize these, and some of them died out. Like I said, this place back here is really too shady for a whole lot of flowers. So I've got that going on. And then over here, I need to fix this fountain. And so I need to get that fixed because I'd like to use it. Then over here, I have more impatiens. These are doing pretty well. Lost a couple there, but it's fine. And over here, these are doing better because they get more light. These hanging here are doing well. So those are good. And then in here, it's getting kind of dry. I have a plant here that's been sort of on death's door off and on for years. It's a rhododendron. And the clematis isn't blooming yet. Here I have a volunteer tomato that's doing real well. Seems like the volunteers always do well. And then nothing new is in this bed, it's just growing a lot. And my lettuce has gone absolutely crazy. I need to eat it. I'm just not home. And then the kale and the spinach is over here. So this pot is looking really pretty. It's got impatiens and coleus, and this here is a purple, not clematis, morning glory. So it's growing up pretty well, but they really don't even bloom until later on in the season. But that'll be nice. My zinnias are still blooming. Got a tomato here that needs to go in the ground. These over here, this little pot of tomatoes, those are all volunteers. I don't know what to do with all of them. And then the coleus is really doing nice this year. Okay, I'm back. We had a little break there. My neighbor came out. So anyway, this all needs to be watered, but this is all growing very nicely. And my tomatoes are coming along. I think I have some tomatoes in here. Yep, there's one. I don't know if you can see that, but I got a couple of them here. And these are determinate tomatoes. I planted three determinate tomatoes. This is Aroma, and I think these are like Early Girl or something. So those tomatoes, and over there, they're starting to come in. And then the garden over here, which I was starting to talk about. My zinnias are still looking really, really nice. And then I have a couple of dahlias that are coming up, and these I need to cut back so deadhead so that I can so they continue to bloom. So yeah, that's that. And my volunteer redbud, it's growing a lot. So I've got that. And then back over here, this tomato is doing very nicely. It's got little tiny tomatoes coming up here. And this one is hiding tomatoes in there. I'm making everything in the shadows so you can't really see, but so, and then I still have more seedlings. I don't know, next year I have to do things differently, but I was just thrilled that they all came up. And I don't know if this is an onion or garlic that's gone to seed. It was a volunteer too, just kind of planted itself. And then I've got chard here. And I've got some peppers in here. They're still tiny. Some kale. Lots of cucumbers and kale. And these tomatoes over here are doing really well too. I'm going to use the trellis fencing back there to tie them to when they get a little bigger. But they're starting to get tomatoes. And these over here, these cucumbers are growing up my trellis fence. I made a trellis fence all around my yard to keep my dogs in. It was a cheap way to do fencing, and since we can't have permanent fencing, that's what I did. And over here, I have my pimentos, and there's one right there, and peppers. And let me go over this way. And I have a few green beans growing in there. And I have to pick those. I really don't have time to do much of anything. So, but these cucumbers are doing real well. And I actually have a cucumber here. So, and lots of blossoms. Lots of cucumber blossoms. So I'm really thrilled with the cucumbers. They're doing extremely well. And the tomatoes are very hardy too. And Chloe's in jail. It's because you run all over the place if I let you out, don't you? Yes, you do. So these little coleus are doing really well. They're so bright and cheery. And the impatiens, they're okay, but I've lost quite a few impatiens already. So that's my July garden. It's doing really well. I want to do a few replacement plants in the garden, in the vegetable garden. I need to plant some more beans. The ones that I already have there are kind of almost done, so there's some plants that I want to plant in July, and I'll just stick those seeds in the ground. I think a little hummingbird had started to make a nest in my flower pot, but I don't see any eggs. And she just kind of dumped all this there and left it. So I don't know what their habits are, but anyway, I don't think she's going to use it. If anybody knows, let me know in the comments below what their habits are. I have no idea. I was just shocked that I think it's a hummingbird nest. Sure looks like one. So here is my deck in the evening. I have little lights above these are solar. These are just going on. And I have, looks really bright, but it's not. Those are those little fairy lights all in there that I did the other day. And then I have lights up here, and this is not recording very well, but that's all lighted. So all in all, it's a really nice place in the evening to sit, and this is what it looks like. Now over here, eventually I have little like curtain lights that come on, but I have to climb up there and fix the little solar panel because it fell down, so it's not charging. But anyway, this is my evening deck. It's very cozy. I turned off the upper lights. My little curtain lights came on. So there they are. And the rest is too dark for you to see. And these are the little fairy lights. They still look pretty bright, but they're really not. So that was a tour of my July garden, and I did a little research, and there's still plenty of things that you can plant. My beans, I just got a handful because I haven't been picking them. You need to keep picking them so they keep producing. But since I haven't had the time, I haven't been able to do that. So I want to talk just real briefly about some of the things that you can still plant in July in my zone, which is between 5 and 6. We're here by the north coast, by Lake Erie, so we do get some very cold winters, but you know, we usually don't get a frost till mid-October, end of October. So these are some of the things that I picked that I'm going to still plant. So here's some beans. You can plant beans, and I have 2 different kinds here. So I'm going to put a couple more of these in. Now I have limited space, so I'm not sure if these are, this is a bush bean, which does pretty well. And this one is, well, oh, this is a pole bean, so I would probably only plant 2 or 3 of these. So I want to try putting those in. And of course, Swiss chard. I have a couple different kinds here. My Swiss chard is doing very well, so I want to plant a few more of those. I still have tons of baby kales in cups, so I will put those in. I guess for fall color, you can still plant zinnias. So I will plant some of these little zinnias in maybe a couple pots. So I want to plant those. Radishes, I guess you can plant those at any time. I didn't plant any yet, so I want to plant some of these French breakfast radishes. They're really good marinated or on a sandwich, or I do like them in a mixed salad, so I want to plant a few of those. I had some sage that died out, so I want to put a couple of these sage seeds in, and these are those So Easy. So, and my sage used to come back, so I'm thinking it's a perennial, but I'm not sure. But I wanted some more sage, so I'm going to stick a little of that in. I have this Great Lakes crisp head lettuce, and it says it's frost tolerant. It matures in 68 to 82 days, and you can sow it early spring through fall. So I want to plant some of this because the other lettuce that I have is going to go to seed very soon. And then I found these little finger carrots that would be great for a container, so I want to plant a container of these. And they're mature in 57 days, so they mature pretty quick. I could probably even get a couple plantings of these. And then there's peas. And this is a sugar snap pea. Apparently you can plant those now. You don't get a bumper crop of them like you do in the spring, but you will get some. And so I want to try those. And little marvel peas, I want to plant a few of those. And I'm not going to do what I did over the winter and plant a plethora of them, just a few. And apparently you can also still plant sweet corn and it will mature before the fall. I don't know, haven't tried it, but I watched a few videos on this. So I want to plant a few of these. And borage, that it has a cucumber-like flavor. The flowers are edible and the leaves are edible. So I want to put a couple of those in my little herb pot. And these get pretty tall. I've planted them before. So, and these take 70 to 75 days. So I think there's still time for that because, you know, up until October. So we have time for those. And then I don't know how this is going to work because nobody said you could do this, but I have some Black Beauty eggplant, and these mature, you can harvest them between 65 and 70 days. So I want to put a couple of these in. So that's what I want to put in my July garden. And what the heck, if it doesn't work, I'm out a few seeds. And I'm not using the whole packet anyway, so I'll save the rest till spring and give that a try. So anyway, that's pretty much all I have for you today. Yep, that's all I have. All right, my friends, I want to wish you abundant blessings. I love you guys, and I'll see you next time.